Thank you, Brett. Second speaker today is Paul Scivetti. Talking about, are you listening? So, a minister, thank you, has a house in the valley. And upstream, or up the valley, there's a great big dam, a lot of rain, a lot of flooding going on. The dam is getting ready to overflow and break. So everybody, they're evacuating the whole valley. And they come up to the minister's house. Hey, we're going to have a big problem over here. The dam's going to break. You need to leave. No, I have my faith in God. God will provide. I'm good. A few hours later, water starts coming out of the dam. It's now up to the first floor. This guy's come by in a boat. Hey, Reverend, you got to get out of here. This is really going to be bad. You need to leave. We need to evacuate. No, I have my faith. God will provide. I'm good. A couple hours later, water's really coming down. Now it's up to the second floor. Other guys come by in a boat, and they're struggling a little bit more. This water really is moving. Reverend, you got to get out of here. This is really dangerous. The dam is going to break. You're not going to make it. No, I'm good. God will provide. I'm good. A few hours later, now the minister's up on the roof. The water's halfway up the roof. Guys come by in a boat, and they're really struggling against the current. It's like they're yelling. It's like, Reverend, you got to come out of here now, right now. No, I'm good. God will provide. Guys drive off with the boat, shaking their heads. 15 minutes later, big log comes down, smashes into the house. The house breaks up. The Reverend goes into the raging waters, and drowns. Gets to the other side. He's up in heaven. He's kind of bedraggled and wet. He gets in. I got to talk to God. What's going on here? I said, God, I'm really kind of mad at you here. I mean, I put my faith in you. I said, God, you'll protect me. God will provide. And look at this. I died. God looks at him and says, hey, whoa, buddy. Don't blame me. I sent 3 boats. Now, the point of this, obviously this is a funny story, but the point of this is when the universe wants to send you a message, wants to tell you something important, are you listening? And for the purposes of this discussion, I don't care if we call it God, Spirit, angels, your higher self, whatever. I don't care what you call it. So I will call it the universe. When the universe wants to tell you something important, are you listening? And if you don't listen, what are the implications? Now, if you're standing on a roof and some guys are in a boat, there's some serious implications. But they're not all that crazy. Let me give you an example. As you guys know, I'm not from around here. My wife and I are from New York. Marie was born and raised in New York. I was born in New York City, not upstate. And traveled up and down the East Coast as a child. Moved back to New York to get married. And we loved it there. It was fantastic. There in the early 80s. We get through to the end of the 80s, like 1990, and it's starting to feel really bad. There are gangs of, they call them wolf packs, basically children behaving very badly in young teens, who are for fun taking Coke cans, ripping them in half, and slashing people's faces for fun. So Ray said, these people are genetically defective. We need to leave. And we had been getting that sense. It's getting to be time to leave. So we were starting to look around, and we thought we'd wind up in Boston or up in the Northeast, because that was kind of our inclination and our preponderance of, well, that was our predisposition. And about this time, something odd happened to me. I started buying sweaters, which is kind of weird. Not just a sweater, a bunch of sweaters. In fact, it got so bizarre. I remember I was standing in Ithaca at a checkout buying 2 beautiful wool sweaters. And I looked at them and I said, this is really weird. I don't even like sweaters. As a child, I would not wear a sweater. You couldn't get me to put one on. I would peel it off. They'd make me itchy. It was crazy. As an adult, Never, ever, ever, ever wore a sweater. It was warm. Just light jacket in the winter, I'm good. So here I'm buying sweaters. I got my sweaters stacking up in the closet. This is crazy. But there you go. We came out to Minnesota for a conference. We're out here, and prior to coming out here, just prior to coming out here, another very interesting thing happened. Maria and I had what I would call a simultaneous dream. So one night, we wake up in the morning, and we both had a dream of pine trees, but not like Christmas trees, which are the only pine trees that you see in the East, but really jack pines with those long, tall, straight trunks with a little pine tree thing at the top. And we both had the dream the same night. It was kind of interesting. We're flying out to Minnesota for a conference. We're on that very long moving walkway through the airport. And there is a poster on the wall, "Welcome to Minnesota," with all these pines. And I looked at him and I said, "We're in trouble." I said, "This is a setup. We're in trouble." And I will tell you, if you are from New York, the only reason that the Midwest exists at all is to keep the nuts in California from getting too close to New York. We don't want them out there. Just stay over there. So we're going around. We're at the conference. And one day afterwards, we're down in Minneapolis, downtown, and we walked out to PB Plaza. We didn't know PB Plaza, but they're out of PB Plaza having the Viennese Zomerfest. It's fabulous. They're doing little push cart things with the food. And the Minnesota Orchestra is about to play a little free concert. Oh, this is great. We'll just hang out. Now, mind you, we're dressed in black, because when you're from New York, everything is dirty over there, so you dress in black. And we're standing there. We found a place to stand out of the way. We're standing there like this, not touching anything. And the people are starting to come out of the offices after work, and they're going to sit down and have their little picnic and listen to the concert. And the young lady comes out of one of these office buildings in white pants. White pants. And she goes without any hesitation, and she sits on the steps of PB Plaza. And Marie jumps up and says, "She's hitting me. Did you see that? She sat down on the ground, on the steps, on the concrete." She said, "We're not moving until she gets up. I want to see the backside of her pants." Okay, sweetie, we're good. We stayed. We enjoyed the concert. This. Well, woman gets up, back of her pants again. He said, "Okay, we can move to New York. We can move to Minnesota." I said, "Whoa, hold on there. I'm from New York. I cannot live in a place that does not have good bagels. Gotta have bagels. We found a place that has good bagels. I also cannot live in a place that doesn't have good pizza. Can't do it." And we found a place that had okay pizza. It was not great, but it was tolerable. And, all right, well, I'm outnumbered. We'll move to Minnesota. And we did. Now, that's an example of a couple of things that you can do to listen when the universe wants to talk to you. One is, pay attention to your dreams, particularly at times when your life is a little chaotic. There are times in life when things are stable and good. There are times that are eventful and consequential. When things are a little interesting, pay attention to your dreams. Write them down. Start a dream journal. I will tell you, I've said this many, many, many times over years, I have not always done a dream journal, but this is a very consequential time for us personally. And I started one in April, and I just finished it last weekend. I started a new one. Now, that's pretty good for me because I spend most of my life saying I don't remember my dreams. I wake up, I don't remember. If you start writing them down, you will start to remember more of what's going on. And you may get some insights. Another thing is the coincidences. We tend to overlook things. Like, it's just a coincidence. It's just a freak thing. There are no coincidences on the planet. Pay attention. If you start seeing something really kind of weird, that's interesting. That's interesting. It's kind of on your radar. Pay attention to it. Let's see if I can give you a quick, a little bit more preponderant example. A few years ago, a good friend of ours down in Tucson was diagnosed with cancer. With lung cancer, they went in for surgery. They removed 60-some-odd% of his lungs. He's down to a very small portion of his lungs. put him on chemo. They thought he beat it. A little bit after the chemo stopped, got spots on his liver. Not good. Put him on more aggressive chemo. Treatment damn near killed him. But he was a fighter. He was fighting really, really hard. Pushed through. I mean, there were days he could barely, it took him hours just to eat. He didn't have enough energy to take a spoonful of something from his plate and put it to his mouth. Like 10 minutes just to get up to his mouth. He was working really hard to try and beat this thing. They get through the first round of that chemo, and it looked like he beat it. He was in remission. It was good. A couple months later, as soon as they stopped the chemo, bounced his back. It's not good. They went through another round of even more experimental, aggressive chemo, really rough. And 2 years ago, right about now, we got a call and said, you know, the doc said this is not working, it's coming back again, and they only gave him like 3 months to live. It's like, ooh, not good. And he had decided to stop chemo at that point. He said, I'm putting my wife through way too much, this is not good. She said, all right, come stop. So I told Ray, we're talking about his good friends, I said, hey, I want to go down to see these guys before he passes. And so we're going to do that. So that summer had been really busy, and so we're working on things, and we're going to go down in like August, September. And things keep coming up and trying to delay this back, and I'm starting to get panicked. I'm feeling like nauseous right in here. It's like, this is not good. We need to get down there. It's like, we need to go now. And Marie's like, hey, you know, we're doing great, and we're talking on the phone, they're doing fine. And I say, no, we need to leave now. And she was a little mad at me at the time. But we blew through the stuff that was in the way, got in the car, and headed down. And we got down there, and late on a Saturday, and we got over to see him on Sunday, and spent a few hours, and he was really good on Friday, and really bad Sunday. And we were there for a couple hours, and then we left to give the family some time there. And while we were out at dinner, we got called a text. So you can get clues when it's time to do something. And if I had not been so insistent that we leave right now, we have to get on the road, we would not have seen it. So, the universe wants to talk to you, tell you something important. Are you listening? Are you listening? One more quick thing. It is often the case. Now, sometimes, if you're the minister on the roof and the boat comes by, sometimes the universe shouts to you, hits you on the head, and drags you along until you say, you got it? I'm trying to tell you something. More often than not, it's a whisper. It's a whisper. And so something that we do here every week is we learn to communicate. And I hope all of you have been here long enough. You understand the ratio. 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? Listen more than you speak. When it comes to listening to clues in the universe, you have to listen with a lot more senses. It's not just your physical ears, it's a lot of things. You have to work on being open to the possibility. So my challenge for each of you when you walk out of here today is to say, hey, do one thing. Maybe it's start a dream journal. Maybe it's just not ignore all the crazy coincidences that are showing up in your day. But pay attention. Ask the question, is the universe trying to tell me something important that I should be paying attention to? Because at the end of the day, you need to know, when the universe speaks, are you listening?